Hello everyone, this is Todd with TradeLeverage.com. In this video I'm going to cover the move that the pound dollar had made on Friday with a breakout off a trend line to the downside, and how to recognize what was happening and benefit what the trade setup would have been on this move. Okay, so I've got the pound dollar 4-hour chart up here, and the area I'm talking about is right here. With this break that the price had moved to the downside. What we have looking here at a fairly zoomed in chart, you can see price is moving in the uptrend. We have price making higher highs, higher lows like that before eventually coming down and then breaking through this trend line. So let's zoom out and we're going to take a look at what was happening previous to this move. We've got a nice trend line right in here with price making touches here, breaks through here, comes back up, again touches here, and again this is the area we're considering right in here what was happening. So what were some of the indications that where this trade was going to go? Well, for one, we have a nice spinning top right here. This guy right here. Now, spinning top is essentially an indication, some may consider it, of indecision of price. Others may consider it is a decision on price. Price is good right in this area of 167, let's call it 700 or so. Now, buyers or sellers are going to come in, push this market back to the upside or back to the downside. History has shown that it's in an uptrend. It's certainly right at this area, the same type of thing, consolidated around the trend line and pushed back up. Now, our job is to figure out, well, what is it going to do here? Is it going to continue to do the same thing and push the upside, or push the downside like it does? Now, nobody can tell you that. You know, this isn't some mystical ball we're using. It's an idea of looking at price action. What is price going to ultimately let it show its hand in terms of what it wants to do. Don't anticipate price. Alright, so boom, there's one thing we can look for is the spinning top. Next thing to look for is what? The actual break. And what happens? This bar here, yeah, pretty good break to the downside. And roughly, let's call it 60 pips or so. Could you have seen that? Yeah, you might have gotten lucky if you guessed, I guess, but we're not looking for that. That initial break is great. The big thing here, what are we looking for? Well, it's right in front of you. It's a nice pennant pattern right there. Where are we trading? The break right off this pennant pattern, right in the area it breaks to the downside. Let it push back, because what is happening here, prices come through. Sellers get excited, get in on this. What happens? Price pushes back up, gets people nervous. Boom. Smart money comes in and has pushed it back down to the 6,500 zone or so. But the big thing for us is to get in and look at what is happening in terms of when price forms a pattern and then breaking from that. Having the patience to let price break through initially, pull back, and then show its true colors and push back down to the downside. So that's one of the definitely the things to look for in terms of a trend line. You have patterns forming, and then at the critical points, i.e. on this trend line, that's what we consider making a trade. And the big part is looking at, let price show you its hand, whether it's going to make a move, breaking through the trend line or coming back up and continuing in the uptrend pattern. So this would have yielded a nice move, roughly I believe about 80 pips or so to the downside. Yeah, and I think so. So again, so once you make the decision of, alright, well, it's going to break that pattern, where can it go? Well, that's where we've got to look at support and resistance. Where's our nearest support off that break? And where could price potentially go? Well, before it formed here, where do we have it? Right in this area. We have existing support here, here. Right here we have some touches on this line in the area of 65.13. That's where you need to be. You cannot, again, we're looking at what has already happened before this move had made. You're still going to do the same thing, but you want to look at the nearest level of support that it does find, and in this case 65.13 puts you about 85-90 pips as far as the move off that breakout. Now from this point, where can price go? Well, we're going to do what? We're going to let price form a pattern again, hopefully some consolidation, and then a move, whether it be to the upside or to the downside. So let's take a look at the daily chart and see what's happening here, and give some indication of what potentially could be to come. We have price again in that uptrend, but we also have price still within this range, these ranges here. So to the downside, I think we're going to potentially look towards 62.50 or so before finding positive support here, and if not, a correction back up, and we're going to try to challenge this 700 level, 1700 level for the future. The big thing now is to look at that trade and then see if it's going to form another pattern, trend to the downside, or then reverse here and then rejoin that existing trend up. So until next time, happy trading and take care.